Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to the RailCats Talk podcast. And do we have a fun podcast for you today? As the RailCats just walked it off against the Lake Country Hounds, the first time this year the RailCats were able to walk off, and the first time that in franchise history for the Lake Country Hounds, they lose in extra innings, and it's also the first time the RailCats have won in extra innings with the new format with having a runner on second. What a game! What an absolute stellar game! It was a nail biter through majority of the game and into the end. So let's just go ahead and go into the breakdown of the game, and then I'll give some thoughts. It's not going to be a very long, hopefully not very long podcast. Hopefully I don't ramble on too much. I do have to work in the morning, so sometimes it just when the games go a little late and have to sit here and edit and try to get the podcast out, that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and start it off. Really, Chris Irwin was the starter for the RailCats, and Alex McRae came in for the Doghounds. Both had a stellar game. Irwin, third pitch in the game, gave up a single, but then it ended. The single to Talkett's, Young came in and hit it to center, and then Bennett hit it to left, but Talkett's didn't realize that there was still only one out in the game, and he took off for second, rounded second, went to third. So Rooker just took the easy play, threw it to second to Woodworth, and Woodward applied the tag. That was basically it for the Hounds until the ninth inning when they did end up scoring. But we'll go back to the RailCats here. Like I said, nothing going on until the third when Jackson Smith came through with a single. He got to third, and then he I guess he scored because then after Wells came in, he flied out to center, and then the good old fashioned hit and run applied for Rookert, and Rookert ended up hitting the ball down the left field line, and Jackson Smith came in and scored, and that was it. I mean, that was the scoring all the way up until the ninth. But looking at some defensive plays for the RailCats, Wells comes in and plays his first game back after being in the fan-controlled football league. That's over on Twitch. He was a wide receiver. I think that's still going on, but he might have not been picked. I don't fully understand that. Understand that league yet, so I don't understand what's going on with it. But he makes a sprawling diving catch. I thought the ball was getting down. He comes out of nowhere, makes a spectacular catch on Brusa, and the RailCats didn't have a 1-2-3 inning in the entire game until they didn't have a 1-2-3 inning. I think they might have here in the 10th, but that was kind of finicky because they already had a runner on. But so Chris Irwin came in and he pitched a heck of a game, not giving up anything. He didn't get the win. Carlos Vega came in and got the win on that aspect of it. So, but let's just go into the game and then I'll get into the stat lines here in a second. So going into the ninth, Carlos Vega was up. He gave up a 2-run double to It's a little tough one on that one. Carrionis, Carrion, the right fielder. I feel terrible for butchering his name, but he's one of those names that I don't really get to see much. And then Jimenez came in and got a sac bunt, which moved the right fielder to second or to third. And then on a wild pitch from Vega, that's what ended up scoring for the Hounds there. But then um, Michael Cruz got his first throw out at second base as Briggs was trying to, after he walked, trying to steal second, got caught stealing on that, and then Takis struck out. And then the RailCats seemed like they were potentially going to get something going. Abbott walked. Olin had a sac bunt. And then that moved him. And then Smith got hit. He stole a base. And then Wells flew out and Rooker struck out. So that ended that attack there. Williams did. That's where it was. Williams came in for Abbott, and he didn't. He didn't get anywhere. He got the third. Ended up getting up to third there. But then I think to really save the game would be MJ Rooker in the ninth here, or in the top of the 10th. Takis was on second. And then let me break it down here. There was a sack. I thought there was a sack bunt. It's not really showing me. Anyways, Takis got to third. And Yon flew out to left. And Rooker came in, and it was a shorter play. I mean, it was one of those you have to take the chance anyways. But Rooker just gunned him down. He was out by a mile and a half. It was just one of those, a perfect throw. That's what you wanted to see. Gun down Takis right there at third at home to save the game basically. And then going into the bottom of the 10th, Rooker with the being on second base. Lingua bunted. There was an intentional walk by Cruz, and then Racusin comes in and hits a single to right field, which ends up scoring Rooker with the bases loaded kind of deal. So like I said, the box, I didn't get, my scorebook only goes to 9 innings, so I kind of stopped. So I figured it would break down, but point streak doesn't really break this down very well. It's kind of confusing on how they worded all of this and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I think it was a great game. It was a fun game to watch. It was entertaining all the way through. I like these low scoring games. I think the RailCats faced adversity and they came through. I mean, yes, did Racusin come in and walk it off? But I mean, MJ Rooker here, to me personally, is the player of the game. Just because he was able to drive in a run. He made a spectacular play to save the game in the top of the 10th. And then he comes on second and he gets to third and he ends up scoring. Yes, Racusin gets the credit for the walk-off because he's the one that hit the ball. But nonetheless, I think MJ Rooker had a game and he showed that he could be successful when needed to be, when everyone else kind of wasn't quite there. So looking at the stat line for Chris Irwin, pitching today, 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And like I said, I think he had a very good game. He pitched very well. And then Josh Vincent came in and he pitched 2 1/3, had 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He looked very good as well. But then Carlos Vega is credited with the win. He could have gotten the save. He blew that, but he ended up getting the win. He pitched 2 2/3 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. So that's one of those that you kind of wish you had back a little bit. Made a better choice, whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. They ended up winning. And then looking at the batters, Lingua went 2 for 4. And speaking of Lingua as well, he is on a 9-game hitting streak, and during that 9-game hitting streak, he has 17 total hits. he has stepped it up to a whole nother level. Like Lingua has been playing out of his mind very well defensively. He's been doing a lot better. He's still gonna stay hot, and um, with the big, I even forgot the big news of the day was that Leaf Strom contract got transferred to the Yankees. So I think Sheeks is going to be on the way, and if Lingua can stay this way, not saying that teams may not look at his power, but his ability to be a leadoff man, the ability to have some power to get on base. He's first in on base percentage. I don't have that number. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. No, it doesn't show me the on base percentage right away. But he's been playing. Oh, here it is. It's 486. His on base percentage is 486 at this point. He's slugging 627, an average of 390, an OPS of 113. Like he's playing outstandingly very well, and his numbers just keep going up. He's been playing very so. He could be the first position player to potentially either get a contract purchased or something along the lines of that. So it'll be interesting to keep that in mind with him as well. So I mean, with Leaf being gone, that opens up another arm in the rotation, which Chris Irwin may take that role. I know Trevor Lupking is still out, but he would end up taking that, and Cuello is still out. So they're not running with a full rotation just quite yet. So we'll end up seeing how that works out. But to me personally, I think that MJ Rooker deserves the player of the game. He may not get it. I don't know what they're going to classify as a player of the game. They may give it to Racusin. They may give it to Chris Irwin. But in my eyes, that's who I would see as MJ Rooker being my player of the game at least. He was involved in some defensive plays and all of the scoring plays as well. But I mean, you're seeing the production from the new guys. Yeah, Abbott didn't have anything. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. He didn't do anything special. I guess we can go through the rest of the line because I kind of stopped at then Lingua and moved on. Then we had Michael Woodworth. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Michael Cruz went 0 for 4. Or no, my bad. 1 for 4 with a walk. Zach Racusin had 1 strikeout, 1 RBI, 1 hit out of 5 at bats. End up being the walk-off winner there. Abbott went 0 for 3 with 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And then Burgess, and they were all substitutions. Oled went 0 for 2 with 1 walk. Jackson Smith went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Zach Wells went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. MJ Rooker had 1 hit, 1 RBI, 4 at bats. So he went 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. So it's one of those games that they struck out a lot. There wasn't much offensive going on that aspect of it, but still, nonetheless, I think they played a very good game. They battled hard. This is the win they want to start out with. I mean, now you're starting the month out of June with a win. So I think they want to, I think you're going to build upon that, move on from that, kind of get better along the lines, hopefully. With that being said, I'm gonna look here if it's gonna pop up for me. I look up their next series is up against Sioux City, which will start Friday the 3rd at Mercy Field. That will start their long journey across the American Association, but they are going to play on Monday against the Lake Country Dockhounds again for a 4-game set. So it'll be interesting to see how that's going to work out. So they do have an off day tomorrow, but they'll come back Friday against Sioux City. And right now, they ended up winning today against the Milkmen. But looking at the division here, standings, they're on the west side, but right now the Sioux City Explorers are 4-12. So this is a very beatable team. I think this is a spark that you're going to need. I think if this could be the first potential win series that you win, and that's what you need to kind of get going here. Especially being a handful of games back. With the win tonight, they're only 5 games back versus the 5.5 that they were yesterday, the day before. But I think you get back to that 500 record, then you look to battle off with the Milkmen as well. I mean, Lake Country Dockhounds are also in your division. They're a game and a half back from the division lead right now, as King County and Chicago are tied for first, both at 11 and a 6. I mean, right now the Chicago Dogs are on fire with a 4-game winning streak here. This was a good game overall. Was excited for it. It was a fun, entertaining game. It's one of those games that you'd sit down and say, yeah, this was a good game to sit down and watch and really enjoy. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I know it was a quick one, not a lot, but I have to go to work in the morning. That kind of stuff. So Friday, hopefully, will be another podcast. I will try. How I'm gonna, what I may do. A lot of games that are wins, I will probably, if I'm able to, I guess I'm gonna do as many as I possibly can. Is what I'm getting at. If I can do a lot, or if it's a blowout, or vice versa, blowout win, or I may not do a podcast after it. It's gonna have to be a kind of a interesting sort of game. Especially if I have to work the next day, just because it's 10:30. I have to get up in the morning. That kind of stuff as well. But that's beside the point. I'm enjoying doing this. If you have other people that enjoy the RailCats but don't always get to watch the games, listen to the games, but just want to stay in tune, be sure to send them this way a little bit. I mean, that's what this is here for. This is for people that want to know what's going on in the game of the RailCats, but get some more information than just maybe they don't want to do quite the research on it, that kind of stuff. I'm also looking at different platforms to put the podcast on. I know that YouTube, you can't, if you don't have the premium, that kind of stuff. You have to keep the app open, that kind of stuff. You can't lock your phone screen or whatever. I know I don't post anything as far as like video or anything like that, so I know it's just like a blank screen with just the RailCats Talk podcast and then the Twitter, that kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of looking at different things to kind of help better suit everyone, try to get it out in different platforms, that kind of stuff. But if you have any ideas, leave comments. I try to respond to everyone on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube comments, all that kind of stuff. I want to interact with everyone, so don't be afraid to drop a comment, something along the lines of that. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at RailCats Talk. I also have a Facebook page and Instagram. Like I said, I don't really post much of it on Instagram, but if you're listening here on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're listening to this, and go Cats.